Oh wow, we go live pretty quick with StreamYard with EVMux. It takes a minute. Well, not quite, half a minute. We are live today, guys. Coming to you from Cancun. It's undisclosed as far as where I am in Cancun. Hello there, Mr. Ronnie. How are you doing today? I just got back from the bank Saturday. Not the bank, but the ATM where it's a Scotia Bank where I have my Scotia credit card. And for some reason, they charged me 850 pesos for the transaction, which is $60, $65. Like, what? Usually it's like 30 pesos only, which is $6. This time it was $60. I can't believe it. I mean, I don't know if I didn't calculate it, what it was for the last 5 months, but it looks like I've been paying too much. And that's from my own Scotiabank debit machines, which is very, very strange indeed. Like, holy wow. How's everybody doing today? Oh, I got like sore ribs lower than where my back was broken, like lower than that. I don't know if that's the part that's affected by that or what, but tossing and turning isn't the greatest. So I went to Playa del Carmen the other day and took some ideas along that I wanted to get some jewelry made, like what I have here, the coin, 5 peso coin. This one's got just a W on it. You can't see it. Oh yeah, you can a little bit. And I want 4 more coins made with other, there's certain words and stuff in it, and he gave me a price. Then he says, "Well, what, you come back around 7 o'clock in the evening, I'll have them done for you." So I went back at 7 at night. He didn't even really start them. He just drew the picture on the coin, what he was going to cut out of them. And I thought, oh, okay, well that's all right. He has his business there. He's got things to do, and so I got to go back when he's finished, pick those up. But I kept all my receipts for the day. So city bus fare from here to the audio station, there and back, is like 24 pesos. Yeah, 24 pesos, because 12 pesos one way and 12 pesos back. And then the audio bus to Playa del Carmen and back was 208, 104 each way, so 208 pesos. So 104 is like $5 or $6, something like that. So it cost me $10 to get there and back. And then what have I got else here? I think altogether it only cost me like $30 Canadian to go to Playa del Carmen and have I went to the A&W and had their breakfast. I got there early, so I got breakfast. Then I got a couple of Coca-Colas or water. And then, oh yeah, the chicken dinner, that was great. I go to that place every time I go there. They give you a quarter of a chicken with potatoes, baked, small little potato, not your big potato, and rice tortillas, pretty hot sauce, and I think that's about it. And a Coke, you get a drink of some kind. And that's 95 pesos. And 100 pesos is like $5 American. So it's around $5, $6 Canadian, 7 Canadian. But a pretty big meal. It's actually hard to eat all that. Oh, finally, it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 35 seconds for the stream elements to pop up. Took its time. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. Today it was 5. So I'm a little disgusted with the bank, and even my debit card with like Scotiabank in Mexico is not the same as Scotiabank in Canada. They're just not the same business. But my card, wherever I use it, is supposed to negate the exchange rate stuff. Like it's supposed to not, I don't get charged exchange rates. Well, that's not true. To be charged 60 some dollars to take out 10,000 pesos is $758. $758, 10,000 pesos. And they charged me $822. Theirs was a 12%. Oh, no. Instead of the regular rate, which was 0.076 exchange rate, which is what it was for today, it was 0.0822, which is a lot more. So I guess you got to live with what it is. But I thought I wasn't supposed to be charged exchange rates at all. I know the banks can put on their own fees, whatever they charge to do these things, but it just seems ridiculous. That's a lot of money. 800 pesos more. Borrow 10,000, then they charge you 800. But anyway, and it's a hot one today. It's a cooker, and it's Saturday. I can't go back to the bank and talk to them. It's a Saturday, and then not only that, I can't go in. And then I stuck my card in again to try to check it out and see what's going on. I put it in, and then it said, "Do you want to accept the exchange rate or decline it?" And I said, "Decline." And then on the screen, it came up and says, "Your card has been it was supposed to have done something to my card, like to stop me from trying again." So I thought, what the? It was kind of in Spanish and kind of in English, and I thought, well, I got to read that again. So I stuck it in to try to do it again, and it said error. We can't use your card. So I thought they put a block on my card for some reason. I don't know how long this is going to be good for. So I went to 4 other ATM machines inside the building, and they all said that, sorry, we can't help you. I thought, what the heck is going on? So now I got to phone my bank Monday or something. I'll wait till Monday and see if they can take that curse, take that off, or is it just a 24-hour thing? Or that's the whole thing. When you go to another country, it doesn't matter which country it is. You're in another country. You gotta go by their rules. It's not the same as in Canada, that's for sure. So in some ways, that's what I regret, is having that. Oh, man. By the way, there, Ronnie, if you want, I just set up a ticket for myself. I got a hold of YouTube and told them about that that channel that I can't remember anything about. And where you go to talk to YouTube is to Twitter, and you look up Team, all one word, Team YouTube, and they're fast. They answered me right away. They gave me a link It says, here's you go to this link and fill out the best you possibly can. First step, and answer as many questions as you possibly can, like usernames, passwords that you can remember if you can't remember anything at all, just to go through it anyway. And then it said, well, okay, how do we contact you? And then I said, well, it wants to give me a second line of defense thing with the phone number, but I have my SIM card for my phone for Canada taken right out. Here it is here, the 5G card. I don't want to put it in because I don't want any charges to my phone. So I took it out. So that's the phone number they're going to call. So I have to wait till I get back to Canada in order to do anything with it. So I'm back in my own phone number, because now that I'm in Mexico, if I use this phone number, then it's going to be a big headache. That's why when I tried to get my original channel back, I was in Mexico, and it kept telling me, YouTube kept telling me, well, you're in Mexico. And I said, well, yes. So by the time when I got back to Canada, though, I was only here for 2 weeks, though. But when I finally got back to Canada, then things started to work, and I finally got my channel back. But anyway, I have to wait till I get back. So it's Team YouTube on Twitter. So just go to Twitter and type in the @ symbol, or just search for Team YouTube, and then just type your message to them look for messages, and then type your message to them, and they'll have an answer for you, or they'll send you a link where you can go and make your on Twitter. Yeah, Team YouTube's all one word. I'm subscribed to them on Twitter, so that's why mine came up right away. But just go on there and look up. I think you have to put the @ symbol in front, or just type in Team YouTube on Twitter and start the process, and that'll get you going. That's how I got my channel back in the first place, but took a while. And they're like I said, they're pretty good. They're pretty fast answering me. It said, when I first filled out this, I typed in my whole what was wrong. I wanted to get my channel back, and it said, we will get a hold of you within the next 24 hours or something. So it was like 10 minutes, and I got an answer right away with a link. I clicked on the link. It's a link you can't find anywhere online to go to. It's special. A special link. So then I clicked on it, and it said, okay, here's what you do. You send in your email address, your phone number, I guess, or how to get in contact with you, and answer. You click on another link, and it's answer all these questions to your best ability, so that we can find out that that's really you, and you're really trying to get, you're trying to do something there. And then it said, we need to send you a code to your number, my phone number. And I said, oh, well, there we go. I don't want that. They told me what the phone number was, ending in 65, which is my Alberta Canadian number. And I said, well, that phone's not working right now, so I have to wait. So that was the big deal for me. I have to wait. So I don't know. It's kind of like when it's a hot day and everything else, and nothing goes right. You have one of those days where absolutely nothing goes right, and it just gets like to be a depressing state. Unbelievable. You can't get my mind off of certain things, and it makes you like, why do you want to go to another country when everybody's? It seems like all the scams and all the everybody's out to kind of get you. You're not a local. I'm a white guy. Not a gringo, though. Gringo is I don't know why they call them gringo. I should look that up. That's American. I mean, it's tourists that make the Cancun go around, make tourists that make Mexico go around, and yet the way they treat them is unbelievable. Even on like if you stay in the hotel zone, you don't get to see what's going on. You just go to the bars and the restaurants and the hotels, and it feels like everything's wonderful until you venture out. But if you're an American and you got nothing but money and you're dealing with American money and not pesos, they charge you through the nose. When you're sitting at a restaurant looking at the menu, you say, "Oh, look at this! I'll have the and sometimes they'll put the price in U.S. dollars and Mexican, and then when you get your bill, it's more than what you thought if you had checked what the menu was beforehand. Because sometimes they'll charge you double. The last video in the park was cool. Oh, the in the park. Yeah, my one I just put up. Yeah, I think I put one up yesterday about a big Ferris wheel. A big Ferris wheel. It's 70 meters tall. That thing, and you can walk right beside it. Like you can almost touch it. It's about 30, 40 feet away up on the other side of the fence. And it's put up by a Dutch company called Dutch Wheels. They when you buy one of those, they put them up. So it's the third largest one in the world. I don't know. There's one in Paris or someplace. Must be the biggest one. I don't know where they are. I know of one other one. I don't know what city it's in, but you see it in movies and things. But I didn't know they had one in Cancun. Last time I was here, they didn't have it. So it must be millions of dollars for those things. And if you see the video, you'll see how many seats are on there. And then when it's turning and it's going around, you're sitting up very close to it, so you can see how many people are in there. Sometimes one or two of those carriages have got people in, so they're burning up all that power for like 6 to 8 people go around this 70 meters high. Though that's pretty tall. And there are so many different kinds of scams here in Mexico, not just in Cancun, everywhere, Mexico. There's so many that you can't prepare yourself for all of them. And some are so blatant, and yet they're not quite as bad as in some U.S. states, like it's New York, I think, where they have bracelets. Like here, they have bracelets too, beaded bracelets. But I think I don't know what state it was, what city, but they'll say, try this bracelet on, see what it looks like on you, and you put it on to see what you think, and then you say, oh, I don't want it, and you take it off. They won't accept it back. It's like once you put it on your wrist, that's it, it's yours. And they get very offended if you don't take it then, and if that's the scam. Or they'll have music at CDs with their music, not someone else's. And I forget how that scam works, but there's scams everywhere. I'm surprised that even the like government, I mean, not necessarily the government, but the hospital for one is another one. If the hospital knows that you're a foreigner, they try to charge you more. Because I don't know why they think Americans have lots of money. I think that's their whole idea. And the wages here in Mexico are very, very low. Like, I mean, you can't hardly blame them for trying to get a few bucks from people, but it's just it's so some of the scams are so blatant, like it's right in your face, and you have to. Taxis are one of the worst. Taxi cabs, even the locals don't like the taxi cabs. They're a syndicate. Everybody thinks they're a syndicate. So there's 9,000 taxi cabs in Cancun, which a population of 1 million people only. But I'll take a cab from here to the Audio bus station. Cost me maybe 60 pesos, which is like $3. But when you get off the bus at the Audio to come back here, it's 200 pesos instead of 60. That's because I asked a taxi driver once, one guy I really like, he's honest, and I phoned him if I got to go quite far. Um, I said, how come the ones at Audio charge you that much more, 200 pesos to go the same distance back? And he said, well, it's because they're parked there. There's a whole line of them right at the Audio front door. And they sit there and wait for people that get off the buses, and then they take the cab and away they go. So they figure they're privileged to charge 200 pesos to take you to, not even a long distance. If you had to go from the Audio bus station to the hotel zone, would probably be still 200, maybe 300 pesos. To go to the airport would be way more. And that's the funny thing, because there are no meters in the taxi cabs here, like in Canada, where there's a meter, and if they're sitting at a light, you're being charged money. If you're just sitting still, you're still being charged money. Whereas here, there are no meters. They just tell you how much it is, and it doesn't matter how bad the traffic is or how long they're stopped in traffic. It's their cost is the same, and the price of their gasoline is uh, about the same as what most other cities pay. It's not like real cheap here. 23, 24 pesos per, what is that, per liter? I'm thinking, hey Sharon, how you doing there? Thanks for popping by. The taxis are shooting around here. Are shooting around here. I went to a coffee shop just down the road a little bit. It's called Capacito, and I think that's Little Cafe. And so I got my coffee and I'm sitting. Most places here are like outdoor. There's no walls. It's more like an open door place. So our open wall place. Um, we're doing. I'm a depressed state today, but I'm doing well. It's just one of those days where you just, like every corner you turn, there's something wrong. So if you could quit thinking of certain things, life would be good again. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I figured, okay, I'll count how many taxi cabs I can see in 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, I saw 26 cabs, going this way and that way, and 26 taxi cabs in 10 minutes. And that's the thing. If you want a cab to get, you can call I think you can call some main office and get a cab, but you just stand on the corner and you point or get your hand out. They'll stop for you. And then what they're not supposed to do, they won't do it in any other country either, is if they have a passenger, hey, Linda, how are you doing, Linda? Nice of you to pop in. Nice to see you again. So if they might have a passenger and they'll stop and they'll ask you where you're going, and if it happens to be on the same route that this other person is taking, they'll pick you up too. So and then they'll say, well, I've got to make a stop, 2 blocks away to drop this other person off, then that, or I can get off first. All depends where they're going. So that happened to me once, where there was another person in the car, and they were giving them a ride, and it just so happened that that was the same route that I was going. They dropped them off, and I got to continue on. So Linda Barker, Ma Barker, Ma Barker could handle her guns. Ma Barker, and her 2 sons. They robbed the banks. Boney M song. Boney M. And the population of Cancun is 1,998,000. So just shy of, but still. And there's 9,000 taxi cabs. And Grandma Barker. You're not related to Ma Barker, were you? And like I said, the taxi cab's a syndicate because the people that own the taxi service. So if you want to become a taxi driver, you have to sign up with the taxi service, and you pay so many pesos per day. You have to pay your car insurance. You have to buy a car. You got to have it white with a green stripe or stripes, and then they look at your car to make sure it's worthy, and then they'll say, okay, you can drive cab, and you have to pay the owner a certain fee for the day. And I forget what else they have to pay. I think that's just about it. But Uber wants to get in here. Uber is everywhere, and they want to get in here, and they don't have that where there's like a one owner thing where the people have to pay that one owner, and they would charge the same amount, if not a little bit more, than the regular taxi service. So what the taxi drivers here do, they protest, and they protest in ways that no relation that I know of. Okay. They take the Uber car and they set them on fire, and they'll even, if they see an Uber driver with passengers in it, they'll surround the car and pull the passengers out. There's only one road that goes from downtown Mexico to the hotel zone. One road, Cuplican Avenue, and they'll block that out. And it's like, if you're in town and you got to get back to the hotel zone, you ain't going back because they'll block off the road and stop people from. They did that the big protest day. They blocked that off. Even the city buses can't get through there. Then the city bus that I was on, I had to get off because I wasn't going to go all the way to the airport and then around the backside. And even they finally, the government said, okay, if you taxi drivers are going to protest like that, if the police catch you doing anything like that, we're going to take away their license or fine them or something, and they don't want that. So that helped quite a bit. I mean, they don't want Uber in here. There's only one taxi company in Cancun, whereas in Medicine Hat, a population of 70,000 people, there's about 4 or 5 taxi companies. I mean, competition. Yeah, they pull it. I think you can tell by the license plate whether it's a taxi cab or a regular car or an Uber car or a rented vehicle. Even the police, when they see a rented vehicle because of the license plate and it has a white guy in it, they pull you over and extort you for money. Like they'll make an excuse up. Um, you're speeding, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. Hello, Paul. Good evening to you. 4 o'clock here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It must be 10 o'clock your time. Maybe 11. Just it's 10 after 4 here. So wow. And the taxi drivers would take the Uber cars because they knew by their license plate that that was an Uber vehicle. There's no other indication that that was a taxi. And then they would, like I said, pull the passengers out of it, pull the driver out, beat him up, and just after 9, okay, 10, so 6 hours. And then they would set the cars on fire, and then they would put the cars on a flat deck truck and parade it around town just to show people what they're doing to the Uber company. And that's why I said even the local people don't like the taxi drivers. They think they're a syndicate, and they bunch up together to, the guy that I found one, well, he's pretty honest, I would think. I don't know for sure. I mean, but he sounds like he is. And then I asked him how much it would cost to go from here to there or that's there. And he said, you shouldn't pay any more than, X amount of pesos to go there. And then I take his word for it. So if it's a short distance, you never get into a cab and head off and then pay after the fact. You always go to the window and you say, how much is it to go from here to there? And if you don't like the price that he quotes you, you just hail down another cab until you tell them how much you're going to pay to get there. If they don't like it, they can carry on. They can get another passenger. There's 9,000 of them here. And like I said, 26 cabs in 10 minutes, you'll find one. And usually I tell them what I'm going to pay, 50, 60, 70 pesos, all depends on your distance. Most cab rides should be between 50 and 60 pesos, which is $2 to $3. So anything more than that, you can find another cab some other way. You don't get cabs either. I don't know how corrupted they are in your country there, but they're pretty bad in Mexico. And that's not just Cancun, that's everywhere. When you hear of what their minimum wage is and how much people make a month, you would not believe it. Like the best paying jobs are working on the hotel zone and greeting people, and they usually like to only hire people that know at least 2 languages, English and Spanish, and maybe French or German or some other language, because they're tourists from all over the world. If you know more languages, they'll pay you more money. If you know 3 languages, they'll pay you more money. But it's the maids and the butlers and whatever have you at the hotel zones where, Americans, they just throw money around and they'll tip you $100 American. And that's like, well, if you're working downtown in Cancun and you're like minimum type wage or whatever, a low paying job, you can expect to make, 1,000 pesos in 15 days. Now, 1,000 pesos is $50 American, $50 American for 15 days. So you're making $100 American in a month, $100. What the heck can that buy you? Not a heck of a lot. I mean, it costs you 100 pesos to have a meal, and you just made 1,000 pesos for 15 days. How long can you eat and pay your rent and do whatever else it takes? Like the bus is only 12 pesos, and it's 10 pesos otherwise, but if it's the hotel zone bus, it's 12 pesos. Divide that by 2 is 60 cents. So 60 cents for the bus and 50 pesos, which is $2.50 to go by a taxi cab, the same distance. My late husband was a New York cab driver, mostly in the 90s before Uber. Oh, wow. Yeah, like probably in like New York, when you look at movies and things, you see all the yellow cabs. I don't know if they're a syndicate there, but yeah, you bet they live in big houses. No kidding. I don't know how they can charge rent the way they do here. Like the rent here is in some places is pretty high. Who's living in there? I mean, the locals can't afford that. Like, wow, unbelievable um, cost. And groceries are uh, probably the same everywhere. Even the price of groceries, it's not really cheap to live in other countries, even in Mexico. Certain things, yes, certain things, no. But yeah, the corrupt cabs here are 24 hours a day. They're corrupt all the time. And I forget this guy that the honest guy, I think he told me how much, I can't remember, but he told me how much they have to pay every month, a fee to the cab company, um, just because you're a cab driver, and then they have to pay their gas and what have you. So a lot of times I just go up to the passenger window, oh, and I tell them how much I'm going to pay to get from here to there, and and I'll ask them first how much to get to there, and if they say like 70 pesos, I'll say, well, how about 60? Uh, and then sometimes they'll say, yeah, okay. So, but never get in, and they'll get you there and they say, how about 80 pesos? Then you say, no, 70. They might just drive you off somewhere and drop you off at a farther place away. So you don't dare do anything. I could pop some of these up on the window so you could see what they were or what people are saying here. He knew all the great hot spots, did he? Yeah, I'll bet. Being cab driver, where to go and rents there are insane. House 3 doors from mine is paying 3 times what I pay mortgage. Yeah, well, your mortgage is probably cheaper than rent. That should be a given. Mortgages are always cheaper than rents. But even rent around here, like this house next to me here has been vacant for a month. There was people in there with a dog. Every night the dog would be barking. But it's been vacant for a month now. And when you own a house and it's vacant, that's money that you're not making in a month. So you want to make sure you get your place rented out. But I'm just disgusted with the bank using my credit card, my debit card. My debit card is supposed to be a special debit card yet on top of it, which exempts me from being charged exchange rate. But the banks can charge what they want. And this one charged me to take out 10,000 pesos, cost me 800 pesos. They charged me $60 to take out 750. Like unbelievable. Well, it is what it is, I guess. And then I tried to stick my card back in to say, what I did was I stuck my card in and tried to get some money, and then it said, "Here's what you're going to be paying extra," and it said $40 to take another 6,000. I said, "Forget that." So it said, do you want to accept or decline? I said, decline, I don't want it. And then it came on the screen, but so fast I couldn't read it all. It said something like, your card has been locked. And I don't know if it's going to lock it forever or if it's just locked for 24 hours or what. But I tried 4 other ATMs after that, and it said, it didn't say your card's locked. It said, we can't help you at this particular time. And I said, oh no, now what? Now I got to wait till Monday to phone my bank and see if they can unlock my card or do what the heck now? I can't get any money. It was 8%. It was 0.08 or 0.0822. And I looked up how much it is, and it's 0.079 or 78. It's supposed to be. So just for that extra 0.1% added on all that, it's usually like a 30 peso charge, which is $5 or something. Not $64 Canadian dollars yet on top of it, which was 850 pesos. Like, what? And I have a Scotia Bank. That's where I deal with in Canada, Scotia Bank, and this was a Scotia Bank. And yet I can't walk into the bank and use my debit card to take any money out. They keep saying to you, you got to use the ATM. Now I know why. It's too bad I got to go home in a couple months. If I would have known that when I first got here, I went to 4 in the Soriana grocery store. There's 4 of them in there, 4 different bank ones. So I went to all of them, and they all refused to take my card. But one of them charged 80 pesos. That's only pesos, though. 80 pesos is only like $4. So $4 American. So that one charged 80. The next one charged 30 pesos only. They tell you what they're going to charge you before you get your money, and you can accept or decline. So I couldn't even decline. They just said your card is. It didn't say anything is wrong with my card. They just said we can't service you right now. So whatever they did electronically to my card, I can't even use it. Hopefully it's only a 24-hour thing. I can go back tomorrow or the next day. And yeah, 8%. So 700 and what is that? How many percent is that? It's from 10,000 pesos is $758. $758 Canadian. 10,000 pesos. But they charged me 822.98, 823 pesos for 10,000. So that's 0.0822, 0.0822. Wow. Yeah, and $60 is 800 pesos. I could have bought a lot of extra food with that kind of money. Let me tell you, Jack. So what's on your minds today, instead of wondering what the heck is bothering me today? Anybody got any stories that they want to tell? I think everything's going to the hell in a handbasket in a fast way. Sorry for the shirtless thing again today. It's just too hot today, and it's air conditioning, and it's still pretty warm. So, unfortunately, drawing a blank. You're watching a golf tournament on TV. I guess there are some things that, like, to me, I like pool, snooker, that kind of pool. might be the same kind of a thing as golf, but to me, because I don't golf, to me, watching golf is like watching paint harden. It's just like, I mean, unless you got fan or not fans, super guys that you like that are doing well or what have you. I mean, you have to, I guess, like golf in order to. So, but to me, it's just like watching paint harden. I always equate that with that. But some people probably say that about when you play pool. If you don't know the pool group of people like Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, the best pool player there is. So when he comes on, it's enjoyable. But anyways, drawing a blank. And you must be a pool or a golf, maybe not professional, but you must play golf there, Linda. Watching golf tournament on TV. I don't even know who. I mean, Arnold Palmer, those kind of names, but they're long gone. I mean, I don't even know who the top players are. I haven't actually watched golf in such a long time that I don't know how any names. If you named some of them, I probably wouldn't know them. With texting, with my personal shopping, like on your grocery order. You must be like groceries must be bloody expensive now. The way things are going here, holy smoke! Some groceries are just been been bi- been binge watching the BBC TV show Death in Paradise. Another one of those shows about a small community that has a murder every day. A small community has a murder. That's not good. It's someplace you don't want to live. That's for sure. The PBC, the PBC, Public Broadcasting, the PBS. I used to know what BBC meant. Not for real. It's an acronym. If I played golf, my back would be um, out of commission. It's that twisting and turning that would really bother my back. That's for sure. I couldn't do it. I think I played one golf game in my whole life, and that's when I was very, 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 very young. A small Caribbean island where Jessica Fletcher may have retired to. Oh, you mean this is like real? Wow. Oh, I thought I saw my the my not tenant my. Oh yeah, that is him. Benny, he back home. Worked all day at the dentist's office. Oh, it's a fictional thing. I only have well, Netflix used to be here, but it's off now. The owner didn't pay, but there is Prime Time, and I watch sometimes some of those series that are on there. Sometimes, not very often, but I'll sometimes watch those. But I don't watch too much TV. If I gotta watch really anything, I can do it on the computer. I can watch anything I want to. Most just about anything you want to on the computer. Just look it up. You can watch movies or I like documentaries, things like that. And sometimes you can get, all depends, if you want to watch movies, you can get a movie that's just either about to be released or very, just released, and from a shady website, you can get to watch it. Oh, my pockets are still full of my phone and my. Very strange. I don't. Maybe he didn't work today. Usually he works 6 days a week. But just by what he was dressed in, didn't look like he was working. So tomorrow I'll be coming on again at noon, my regular Sunday fun day live stream. There's nothing else to do today, so I decided, well, we might as well just pop up. And I should put that link up. I'd like for everybody to go have a look at that. That's amazing as far as I'm concerned. If you're Hebrew, you know what that is. That Bereshit. Bereshit. I don't know how to spell that. That's a Hebrew word. Hebrew is the holy. What's going on up there? Did you hear that? Lots of rumbling going on. Oh, I see. He has company. Hang on. I got to go in, get the door. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. Where are you headed?
Casey Max.
Huh?
Casey Max.
Oh, do some. We got that's guy over there. You gonna beat one?
We're gonna go meet each other over there now.
Okay. We'll come back with the bloody nose.
Oh, not, do your website, or the videos?
Oh yeah, I've been making videos.
Have you been writing them out, or was you gonna do?
No, not lately.
You know, I was thinking
You
about
know,
it
you
last
know what
night.
I do it, but
You're gonna hit,
yeah.
yeah, I can even help you with the
You know what happened today? I took my credit card to the bank. No, I got it back, but they charged me $65 just to get some money out. Well, 10,000 pesos cost me $800. I know. So that's what my rent cost this month, $800 for next month. I know. I can't
get that back.
No, that was their rate. And then I stuck it in again to see what their rate was. And then it says, your card has been locked, because I answered no to the question. So I tried my card in 4 other places and it's locked up. And it's Saturday. It's okay. It is what it is. Like Mexico, Scotiabank is not Mexico, is not Canadian Scotiabank. It's the same company, but they're two different entities. When you're in another country, it doesn't matter if it's Mexico or Turkey. You gotta live by what the country does. So, anyway, people, yeah.
Get your stuff, man. I wanna check it out so we can start making it here. No ads.
You write one out for me, I'll do it. Just kidding. Yeah, it's taking the videos, that's the hard part. Well, yeah, I know, but you gotta edit them all so that they look good. Anyway, don't get beat up too badly. Oh, sorry guys, is anybody still in the house? I think a small Caribbean island, okay, fictional. Tomorrow is Yorkshire pudding. You have Yorkshire pudding all the time, do you? I'm not an expert at making it. I made it twice and I think I kind of a failure both times. I gotta get it. I don't know what it is. If I could make it be more flavorful of some kind, like isn't Yorkshire pudding by itself supposed to be like not really super flavorful of some sort? If you add stuff to the batter, yeah, okay. I mean, if you add salt, but it's the other stuff you have with it, like the gravy or the um, Linda, have you ever made Yorkshire pudding? Uh, Paul there, he makes it all the time. Tomorrow's another day for him. I don't have the right stuff to make it. I got the right stuff to make the batter, but I don't have the good. You can't buy stew, like putting stew in there would be really good, or chili con carne. If you guys know what that is, they've never heard of chili con carne here in Mexico. They don't know. Con carne is, they think it's chili with like chilies. Con carne is, con is without, no, with, carne is beef. So chili with beef that's how that's interpreted. And that's not what chili con carne is. The Canadian version. So I've tried to make Yorkshire pudding twice. The first time looks okay, tasted good with gravy, tasted all right, but it needed something more. I don't have the mustard powder or whatever. I don't have beef drippings and stuff. I don't have that kind of stuff to make it taste like that. Cream puffs. Now, to me, Yorkshire pudding would be nice if you could put sugar in the batter and make it taste kind of a sweet taste, like well, if you're making pancakes, like crepes, real thin, not your puffy pancake you have in the morning, but like crepes, real thin pancakes. Doesn't matter how thin you make a pancake, it always has two sides. But anyway, you make it a thin pancake. Eating those just by themselves with nothing on them, they have a bland taste also. There's not much flavor to them. It's when you put the butter and the honey or the jam or whatever it is, and the syrup would make it taste good. Yeah, if you take that same batter that you make Yorkshire pudding out of and just put it on a frying pan and bake it on or cook it on the stovetop, that's like your pancake, right? Your crepe. Though I would love to make those. We used to eat those when we were kids. I used to eat like 10 or 12 of those things because they're real thin, but I just like the taste of them. And what I did with my last Yorkshire pudding when I just made it, I had made too much batter again, well, like the first time, but I thought, okay, I won't put it all in that pan. I'll put half of it. And then I took the other half and made pancakes out of it. Those were good. How did I cook the pancakes? Just in a regular frying pan on the stovetop. That's right. Those were good. Now those would be nice to make. I might even make those tonight. We call them flat pan pudding. Flat puddings. Wait a minute, I gotta get this on the screen because I can't read that. That's too fine a printing down there. We call them flat pudding. Some mixture, but done on a pancake style, on a hot pancake style. I use a chipotle pan. I don't know, I'm not even quite sure what a chipotle pan is. But here in this country, when you buy an actual real crepe pan to make crepes, like your pan, most frying pans are like this, right? Well, a crepe pan is like this. So you take your batter, you dip your thing in it upside down, so it's like this, then you flip it over and it's like this, and that's how it cooks, which is weird. You'd think it should be the other way, but nope. Chipate. Chip at E. Chipati. Now, it all depends. In Spanish, no, let's get up to the other one. This would be chipati, because the I's are pronounced E in Spanish. To say this in Spanish, chipati, chipati. Indian low-sided frying pan. Oh, okay. Yeah, really small sides, right? Just enough for pancakes. I don't have one of those here, but I have the pan that I cook in here works perfectly. It's actually rounded all the way. It's not flat at all. It's rounded. That works perfectly. It's amazing how it actually works. I make my breakfast pancakes the puffy kind that puff up, that a regular pancake, not a crepe. That's the pan that I use to make those, and then I put eggs on top. And that flour is already boxed in the pan. It's not just regular flour. It's flour and probably baking powder or baking something or other and sugar or whatever. It's added in all in one. You just add milk and an egg, and that makes your batter. Whereas what's regular flour? Just wheat flour. Nothing else added into it. And then when you make your pancake stuff, you put your egg in, your milk, but there's nothing in there to make it rise. And a pancake mix, though, when you put them in the pan to fry them or bake them or cook them, bubbles appear on there, all bubbles. And once the bubbles are there, it's time to turn it over. So then you flip it over, and so those pancakes, I'm sure everybody knows those kind. Your breakfast type pancakes. But I might make crepes tonight though for supper. And in order to do that, I'm making actually Yorkshire pudding batter. What's this one? Is when I make corn fritters. Pretty much the same mix, but added sweet corn and a pinch of bicarbs. Sweet corn. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit I don't know. I don't know what sweet corn even is. You can get cornmeal, like powdered type corn. Hey. Hello. It is now 4:43. It must be just about 11 o'clock your time. Tinned corn. Like kernels of corn in a tin. Only time you make pancakes as such is when I make corn fritters. Oh, so like corn fritters and then whole kernel corn? Yeah, tinned corn. It's about that time. The dogs are going to go nuts for a couple of hours now. And sometimes it'll be like late at night, there is no movement outside, and the dog will just continuously bark, not just bark for a little while and stop, and then bark again for a little while and then stop. It's continuous barking, and I would say a 3 second delay between 3 or 4 barks, and then 3 second delay, but it's consistent. Oh, green giant canned corn. Okay. You have green giant over there. Oh, cool. He's everywhere. What happens if you get, oh, I forget that joke now. If you have one pea in each hand, what have you got? You got the jolly green giant by the balls. Jolly green giant canned corn. Probably large corn kernels too. I saw one YouTube video the other day about somebody put a corn on the cob upright in a microwave, and it was popping popcorn right off the kernel, right off the cob. But it's a special kind of corn. The corn is super dry. It's got no moisture in it at all, and you see those corn cobs in stores and stuff. And he was popping it right off the cob. It's amazing how that worked. But Yorkshire pudding sure sounds good. And like I said, I've tried to make it twice, and it did taste good though. Don't get me wrong, it tasted good, even though it wasn't a complete success. I've never made it before, so I'm super surprised at how long it takes to cook it though. That's why I think I have it too thick. And I put too much oil in. That was another thing. Too much oil in there. You just need a very thin layer of oil. I had a thick layer of oil. Now that's where it would be nice, like I said, if I had some sort of drippings of some sort. But I don't have it, and it's hard to find here in Mexico, stuff like that. You can't just. If I was in Canada, I could do it easy. They have all that stuff at the corner at the grocery stores. If you have a green ball in one hand and a green ball in the other hand, you have total control. Oh yeah, oh, of the Hulk. Yeah, and that's when he calms down, and then hopefully he'll calm down, and then he turns back into just a regular sized guy. Guy that used to play what he was a good Hulk guy. He'd puff up his chest and his shirt would split when he was becoming the Hulk. Yeah, yeah. Total control. Yeah, there again. See, I don't have anything other than oil to make Yorkshire pudding with. So, well, I guess I could use. Well, the only other thing that would be like an oil would be butter, but butter is would burn, and certain oils might burn too. There is no like beef roasts here. I could go get a steak that has a lot of fat on it and make the steak, and then use the drippings from that as an oil. Um, I mean, unless they have something somewhere that I don't know about, because it's all Spanish, I can't read it. What's on the cans? Oh, they must have shortening here. I just haven't seen shortening either. Although you're not looking, I'm not looking for shortening, so. But they must have something like that here. I mean, like I said, if I was in Canada, I can go and buy roast beef that's already cooked even. If I want to put roast beef in there, I could go and get roast beef drippings. You know, here you can't find that stuff. They must have a lot of cows here, though. Mexico is known for like cowboy stuff, not right here in Cancun, but more up like closer to Texas way there. Um, but you don't see any animals around here. Not like on the prairies there in Medicine Hat. There's cattle. Everybody, it's cattle farmers, ranchers, and there's a butcher industry near Medicine Hat, Tabor, that the thousands and thousands of cows go through there every year, or millions. So when I get back home to Alberta, then I can make Yorkshire pudding the way it's supposed to be made. But here I'm practicing, so I'm practicing to get the batter part working a little better at least. And unfortunately, like I said, I have to use an oil base, and I suppose, like some oils smoke and burn, especially olive oil. You don't want to use that. Um, Corn oil, sunflower seed oil, maybe that's. Um, some oils burn more than they'll start smoking when you get them hot. Like the oil that I don't even know what it's made out of, but the oil I'm using, when it gets hot in the oven, it starts to smoke. Then you know you've got it hot enough, though. But like I said, too thick, I think, even. And when it gets that hot, it just evaporates so fast that, yeah. See, one guy walked by, and now the dogs are going nuts. I always think there's something wrong with the dog when he barks like that. At absolutely nothing, just barks and continuously barking. There's one little tiny Chihuahua one morning he must have started at 5 o'clock, and finally at about 8 o'clock in the morning he quit. And nobody does anything about it. The owners must be home. You'd think they would tell him to shut up. That's what Caesar Malone says, anyways. Barking excessively like that is not right. And that's the thing. Somebody walks down the road here, and it'll start at the one end, and as they walk by, then the dogs at first they'll start barking. It sets off the next batch, and then when they get there, and it's just all the way down the road until they get to the far end, and they all keep barking, and long after the person's gone. You have got to make lunch for Pa every day. Love to do a steak, but the only way he will eat it is has been cremated. Oh, really? I like mine as a good vet. We'll have it back this heat in an hour. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like my steak really rare, but like a medium type rare is a good steak. I think that the more you cook a steak, the harder it is to chew. It just gets more tough. You want it to be where it's chewable. But my stepfather, he would like his meat. Like I said, you put 1 minute on one side was almost too long, and then 1 minute on the other side was almost too long. If it was still kind of moving a little bit, yeah, that was good. He would eat raw hamburger in a sandwich or something, like raw hamburger. Ooh, yikes. but not for me, not for me. At 5 o'clock, we're going to end the live stream simply because I'm getting hungry now with all this food talk. Yeah, no kidding, Linda. The dog must be bored. I didn't see that, but now I just see that. The dog must be bored, yeah. And there's two next door here. Both are bulldogs or pit bulls, so they're big and they're that you can. And one is even just the look of his face. He looks like he's blind almost, although he can either sense that I'm walking by or he can see shadow. He can't see clearly, that's for sure. And the black one, this one is totally white, and the black one he can hear and see pretty good. So they know I'm coming around before they can see me. They're up barking. Raw bacon yet? That's got lots of fat on it. What about bacon fat for Yorkshire pudding? There you go. It's pork, but rather than beef, but at least you get lots of drippings from it. I used to save you'd go to the store and buy bacon, like a package of bacon, and I would cook the whole thing, save all the drippings, and not eat all the bacon all at one time, but I would save the drippings. Then I'd make it all the drippings at one time, put it in a jar. Then every time I would cook something that needed a fat-based thing, I could use that. But raw bacon, holy. No, that's can't do that. Just the thought is enough. And it's 4 minutes to 5. I think we'll call her a good. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. Might have to just watch something on YouTube or something, as opposed to going online. As opposed to streaming. But I don't know. I don't want to sit here and twiddle my thumbs, so that's why I go on. And I've been watching a few other lives lately. They had a couple of games on there where they would ask questions, and then they give a $20 gift certificate, I guess, to Amazon away if you could answer the more questions, get them right. But she be what she be. Well, Mr. Paul, Mr. Wakey, Linda, Sharon was in the house, and Ronnie Braun was in the house. I want to thank you guys for spending the last hour with me. It was great. Hour and 20 minutes that I've been on. And we can always do this again tomorrow. Hit the thumbs up too, by the way. We can always do this again tomorrow at high noon, my time, Eastern time, high noon. And I'll have I think I've got a slideshow with, I don't know, not very many slides. I could add a few more, but a slideshow tomorrow would be nice. Another word game I could have in the as a backup. 6-lettered word game, could put that up and see how many people could get the words figured out for that. So anyways, guys, thanks again for popping in for the time we had here and spending the time out of your day, precious time. You could have been watching some other live. But anyways, we'll catch you guys all on the next one. If it isn't tomorrow, no big deal. We'll catch you guys all on the next one then. Stay cool, be kind, and stay awesome. We'll see you next time.